Dr. Matt Alexander here, and I'm here meeting today with lovely Dawn.
Oh, thank you.
And we've been working together for how long now?
Oh, about 10 years or more.
More than that, I think.
I think it's more than that, yeah.
Yeah, at least 10 years. And so she works a lot with Brian Larson's office, correct, out of San Francisco, but we're here in Dublin, California today.
Yeah.
And she's just been in the industry forever and knows everything about personal injury inside and out.
Yes.
So if you are a potential patient and you've been in a car accident, call Dawn from Brian Larson's office. She will make your life a dream. And if you are a chiropractor or any other type of specialist and you're looking for an attorney to work with on a lien, they're very fair, and I can say from personal experience and multiple cases, many cases together, that they treat us more fair than anybody. So wonderful to work with.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's very sweet.
So what I want to hear from you, from your years of wisdom, is what is like the number one thing you look for in a chiropractor to work with?
That we work as a team.
Yeah.
I think is the most important thing. It's a combination of a trio of the patient and the patient's need, the economics of a case versus the treatment, and what is more feasible, so everybody comes out successful in the end.
You're looking for a win-win-win-win.
A win-win-win.
Not everyone trying to just do it for themselves. Yeah.
And when that happens, we get business back because the clients are very happy. You're happy because you're getting paid. The attorney's happy. Yeah. So it works out for everybody, and that's just a communication. We communicate with the clients on a monthly basis. We have texting that we do directly to them that drops right into their electronic files.
Communication is key, right?
And we'll call the chiropractors when necessary if we hear that the client's having radiating pain, just to bring you in the loop on that and ask your opinion whether you feel they need an MRI or any other diagnostics.
Okay.
And we help arrange things on liens for the chiropractor too when he has those needs for the patient. Awesome.
All right, next question. For potential clients, like people who've been in a car accident, when should they call you guys? When do they know if it's worth it to make a call to an attorney to see if they have a case or not?
Right when they get in an accident.
Okay.
And the more you let treatment delay, it affects the value of your case at the end. So the sooner you can talk to somebody, get a consultation, and get direction on how you handle it. Hardly anybody gets in an accident many times.
Yeah.
A lot of them, it's their first time. Nobody knows the claim process.
They don't know what to do, yeah.
Yeah, you buy insurance because you have to.
Yeah.
So they don't know what protects them against the other driver. And so we're able to, in a consultation, really in one consultation, I could put together exactly the game plan on a case and get them in for treatment, and also let them know the pitfalls.
Yeah.
So I'm very honest when dealing with people. I
love that, and that's sometimes rare to find in the attorney world. So, and I can vouch for Dawn. She's very honest that way. And so, anyways, last question.
Sure.
This is one I get from patients all the time. So if you're wondering this, a lot of patients, they'll come in for treatment because they feel sore after an accident, and I'll say, hey, why don't you get an attorney? And a lot of times they tell me, oh, no, I don't want to sue anyone. I don't want to get involved in all that. I just need a few treatments to get better. But they had a pretty significant whack, Yeah. And so what advice would you give to somebody like that who's maybe hesitant because they're not that litigious type of a person?
Right. Nobody wants to sue anybody. And you're dealing with a claim process. The lawsuits are down the line. It's not that we won't file and serve on somebody if they're not being fair in their assessment and value of a case, because we don't even hesitate to do that. But for the most part, most cases settle within the 2-year period of pre-litigation before a complaint has to be filed to protect the statute. So you have 2 years there in order to get a case settled and work a claim and take care of the client. It's financially better for the client if it settles prior to litigation because of the costs involved in litigation, unless their injury is pretty serious.
Yeah.
But for the most part, most cases are settled within that 2-year period, so you're not going to be suing anybody.
Could you give me a ball? Well, first of all, they wouldn't sue the person
No.
individually, almost never, right?
No,
like it's almost always
between.
the insurance company
Yeah.
isn't treating them fair,
Right.
so they're suing the person's insurance to get
Yeah.
a fair settlement, right?
Correct.
And so if you had to give me a ballpark percentage-wise, what percent would you say settle before they even go to litigation?
Oh, probably 98, 99%, truly.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of times the person who hit you, they don't even know what's going on. Like their insurance is handling it and taking care of it. So you don't have to worry about you're like going after this person. They have insurance. They paid for it for a reason. They accidentally hit you. It happens. Unfortunately, with insurance companies, their job is to collect correct me if I'm wrong, as high a premium as they can and try to pay out as little as they can when the claims come. That's how they're a for-profit company, and that's how they make money.
They are.
And so we just need you to make sure that the clients get treated fairly. And in my experience, even though you guys do take a portion of the settlement, the portion the patient gets still ends up being a much higher dollar amount than they would get trying to negotiate it on their own.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's just because they don't know. They don't know the landscape. They don't know what to say to the insurance company. They don't know what's reasonable and fair, and so they end up getting taken advantage of due to that lack of knowledge.
They do, and it's hard for me when I talk to somebody who calls in and all they want, so trying to settle something themselves, but they should have gotten an attorney, because then they get in a spot where they're offering me this and it's not fair. But I have to explain the dynamics to them. That you should have called me in the beginning of the case, because you probably should have had an MRI, because you're still having problems. You can't wait a year and a half down the line and then think they're going to go ahead and take care of that.
Yeah, it's, to me, a lot of times it's kind of like I'll hear people say things like, oh, I'm going to sell my house without a realtor or buy a house without a realtor and this and that. There are situations where that works out. I'm not going to say there aren't some. But if you've ever sold a house, you realize how much paperwork, how many steps there are to go into that. So maybe you saved your 3% or whatever, but if you didn't negotiate that deal right, you could have lost out on, maybe you saved 20 grand, but you lost out on 100 grand because you didn't negotiate the deal right. You know what I mean?
Having sold a house recently, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I would never want to go through that process and handle all that paperwork myself.
Right. You're navigating in something that's professional, and you're doing it as a layperson. It's never going to turn out well.
Exactly.
I mean, how many of us are really capable of building our own house? Or that type of thing. You shouldn't go into these legal things unrepresented.
No, you shouldn't.
You're at an unfair disadvantage. I think I heard a quote one time from a famous general that was like, never fight somebody in a fair battle. Like you always want to have the advantage. You don't want to be at a disadvantage going into a situation like that. So, Dawn, thank you for meeting with me today and sharing your wisdom. And thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you.
Great.